Hello everybody, Jason Burnfield here. Thought I'd give you a little rundown on my updated version of my dish, how it's constructed, how I set it up to do a scan. Yes, I've currently got it folded up here at the front of my garage door, and we'll get started positioning it and opening it up, setting it up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drag my dish out into the yard and set it up. And now we put the feet on. Just slides in and rests on these PVC pipes. And that's it. So just to document the construction of the dish a little more closely, you can see there's a sliding ring in the center with these braces made of PVC pipe, and they're connected to the ring using just plastic zip ties, and then underneath they're attached to the structural members by machine screws, and the base is constructed the same way. There's if you look underneath, there's a rope and holes drilled around the circle around a circle on the base, which is just a thick piece of plywood, and each of the structural members is just simply zip tied to through the hole and around the rope, and that allows a hinge. The zip tie acts as a hinge to allow it to rotate, to fold the dish up, or to open the dish. In between each of the structural members is a piece of PVC tubing that has been they've all been zip tied to each one to the next member, and all the way around, and they act as kind of springy spacers between each of the members to kind of keep them evenly spaced as it folds up and as it unfolds. So they act kind of like flexible spacers, almost like springy spacers here. Originally I had the dish covered with this aluminum window screening, and when I switched to the Faraday fabric, I left the inner section in place, the intersection of the aluminum window screening covering, and it kind of just protects the inner portion of the Faraday fabric from getting snagged on anything. The Faraday fabric is attached to the frame using upholstery staples, and most of the inner portion all the way out to the original diameter of the dish, which was 2.74 meters. Each section is a single piece, and then when I added the extra extensions, which I did using glue and wood screws, and then I just attached an additional section of Faraday fabric that overlaps the original section enough to give a complete coverage. And I found that when it folds and unfolds, it stays in place quite nicely. So I'm pleased with it. The feet that it stands on are simply inch diameter steel bolts that are 1 foot long, and they're attached securely to the base. And then I use this series of paving stones and bricks and plywood to set the elevation angle. And usually when I'm starting out, I put one paving stone under each foot, and I check them and use this level to make sure that they're all level to start out with. And then as I raise one side or the other using bricks and paving stones, then I use a ruler to measure the height, and based on whatever trigonometric calculation I've made to tell me the height that I need to raise the back or the front feet to give me the angle I want, I just check the angle and make sure I'm in the zone. And then I do use 3 additional paving stones to anchor the dish in position so that the wind won't blow it over. And I use these nylon cords wrapped around the paving stones, and then I attach them either to these screws put in the end of the structural members, or sometimes I'll attach them to the screw that's used to attach the braces, and I'll just loop it around that, and it holds it nice and tight and securely. So the way the center section is done, I have actually dowels anchored in the base, and then over the top of those I have these long 1-inch diameter PVC tubes, and then I have a wider diameter tube that slides over that. I have a short section underneath that holds the ring at the proper height, and then I have another section that slides over and rests on the top of the ring, and I've drilled holes through to allow me to put nylon screws through to pin it together when I have it assembled. And those outside pipes then become the shelf that the feed rests upon, and it's just held tightly by friction in between the three vertical tubes, and it holds it in place quite nicely. The only other thing I do is I put my cable underneath this mat so that people don't trip over it, and I've got the cable running through the front window, and then inside the house I have the cable coming in through the window and up behind the couch, and I bring it up and attach it to my software-defined radio on this heatsink, and then I place my laptop on top of this cabinet, and I hook up the USB cable to it, and that's how I do my data gathering. That's pretty much it, and yeah, I'll be doing some more videos soon to demonstrate how I plan my observations and how I do my data analysis. So stay tuned.